These are the Bringnox motorized roller shades. They're matter over thread, so they're compatible with a variety of ecosystems, and they work great with Apple Home. Being thread, they respond quickly, they're reliable, up to 6 months battery, and super easy to install. Now, I've installed and tried a lot of smart homes, and there are a few details that I think set Bringnox apart. From little things like the ease of setting the top and bottom endpoints, to getting a great quality shade for a cheaper price than a lot of other brands. Now, Bringnox did send me these shades and sponsored this video, but I did not send them a script for what I was going to say, and I'm going to be reviewing these just like I've talked about all the other shades on this channel. And in a few minutes, I'm also going to share a key app that helps you keep track of all your pairing codes and all the devices in your smartphone. Now, in the box, you obviously get the shade, and you have lots of options for valance, different options for the bottom rod, and you can decide what kind of remote you want and whether you want a solar panel. I got the 15-channel remote, I got the solar panel, which I did use. These are actually going in my kids' rooms, and I wanted to be able to just keep them charged all the time, so I never had to think about it. These are also the Bavaria dark gray style, and of course, they're matter over thread. And one of the cool things about the Bringnox shades is you can get the typical USB-C charging port. That's what I have on a lot of my other smart shades. But you can also get a magnetic charging cable port. This would be really useful if you charge your shades like I do with a power bank and connect a cable to the shade. I need a stepladder usually to plug it in, and then to unplug it, I usually just kind of yank on it, which with a USB-C connector, maybe you don't want to do all the time. But with that magnetic connection, you can just give it a tug and it disconnects. So if you're going to be doing that style of plugging and unplugging, maybe get that magnetic connector. And when it comes to installation, it's super easy. Again, I've installed lots of different smart shades, and Bringnox uses that little spring-loaded bracket that you screw into the top or side of your window frame. If you get larger sizes, it might come with 3 of those spring-loaded clamps. Mine came with 2. Just took about 10 to 15 minutes to take off my old shade, screw in those 2 brackets, pop in the new Bringnox shade, and I was done. And I wanted to mention, if you're not comfortable actually drilling into your window frame, Bringnox makes a no-drill motorized shade, so you can get these that use adhesive to stick to the windowsill. It's still going to be secure, it'll stay up there for years, but if you just don't want to be drilling, they have an option for you too. Now, before you click it into your windowsill, remember there is an on-off switch on these shades that's different than the actual pairing button that you're going to use to connect it to Apple Home or your ecosystem. So just be sure to switch it on before you mount them. The switch is still accessible even after you mount them, but if you have to climb up a ladder to do it, you just might want to turn it on first. Now, as soon as they were installed, the remotes came pre-paired, which was a huge win. A lot of times I've had smart shades come from different brands, and I've had to pair the remote with the shade the first time. I had 2 shades, each came with their own distinct remote, and that remote was paired and ready to go right from the start. And one of my favorite things about the Bringnox shades is how you program the upper and lower limits of the shade. With other brands, sometimes you have to do weird button presses where you like hold the up and stop button for 3 seconds, and then you hold another combination of buttons for a few seconds. The Bringnox remote, actually in the battery compartment, you take off the back cover, and there's a little switch that goes from user to admin mode. You put it in admin mode, then you press the regular up and down buttons, you go to the upper limit, and then you literally just press and hold the up button in that little battery compartment to set the upper limit. Use the regular arrows to go down, and then press the lower button. I like these distinct buttons for actually setting that upper and lower limit, rather than having to remember some kind of weird combination of button presses on the remote. So that was a win. Then when you're ready to connect it to Apple Home or your smart home ecosystem, you press the pairing button, wait for 2 jogs. The shade will kind of jog twice, and then it's in pairing mode. Scan the Matter QR code that's right there on the shade, and it connects super fast. Again, this is Matter over thread, and that thread connectivity allows it to connect and talk to all your devices very reliably and quickly. And when you're pairing it to the Apple Home app, that last step in the process where it actually recommends some automations, don't skip that. I usually skip it just to get right to controlling my smart shades, but a lot of those automations are the ones that I would set up anyway, like raise it when it's sunrise, lower them at sunset. So take a second, see if you actually want to toggle those on and off, and that's exactly what I did. One of the shades went in my daughter's room, one in my boy's room, and so I have it where every morning those shades are going to open, and then every day at sunset, all the shades close. And you can see I have all the different shades across the rooms, the one in my master bathroom and the 2 in my bedroom, and in my kids' rooms now with the Bringnox shades, they all close at sunset. And keep in mind, if you want to kind of delay it a few minutes after sunset, because there's still some light even after the sun goes down, instead of sunset, you can tap the eye on the automation, and you can choose all the way up to 4 hours after sunset, or what I usually do is about 45 to 30 minutes after sunset, and that's when they start lowering. So how are they to use on a regular basis? Well, they're super fast to respond, they've been really reliable, no disconnections, no interruptions. using either the remote, or I usually use the voice assistant on my iPhone or right from the Home app. These are also blackout shades, which is nice if you want to lower them in the middle of the day. You can actually have a dark room, and you can order it with light blockers that actually go on the sides of the windows. I have those here in my studio, so when I lower my shade, zero light comes in. And like with any other smart shades, you can have it open any portion of the way or percentage. So if you wanted to close them halfway, well, then the shade will actually go to 50%. You can also ask the voice assistant, open the blinds to 75% or 80%, and it will raise the blinds that amount. Also, if you're installing multiple blinds in the same room, remember if you tap the settings icon on any of those devices, you can actually pair them or group with other accessories. You can even pair shades across multiple rooms, and then the shades will appear as one device. You can also see the battery level here in the Home app, and I've been using these for over a month. They're only down at 80%. Again, I have the solar panel, which is going to keep them charged, but Bringnox says they'll last 6 months on a single charge. You can see they're quick to respond to all those controls. Now, I said before I was going to mention a key app for managing your smart home, and that's HomePass. HomePass is from a great developer who makes other apps like HomeCam, so you can see all your smart home cameras on your Apple TV and on your other Apple devices. But HomePass is a great way to keep track of all your QR codes. So every time I set up a new device, like smart shades, a smart lock, anything that I might want to refer back to that QR code, I add it to my HomePass app, and then I can always repair it. Maybe I want to add it to another smart home ecosystem, and I have the QR code right here on my phone. This syncs via iCloud, and then one of the things I do periodically is after I've added a bunch of new devices, I'll go into the settings for HomePass, and then you can do data export, and I can export as a PDF or a CSV spreadsheet, and then I save those to another cloud backup. So I have all my smart home devices with their pairing codes and QR codes easily accessible everywhere. HomePass is also great on the Apple Watch. So again, if you ever need to repair something, you can actually go to that device here on the HomePass app on Apple Watch, tap it, and I get the QR code right here, so then I can scan it with my phone and pair it to another ecosystem or app. Now, when it comes to pricing, you'll find that Bringnox is actually going to save you some money. So for example, I customized this shade to be similar to what I got. This is a 100% blackout shade, and as you can see, there's lots of different color options and styles. Here under the motor type, make sure you choose matter over thread. You put the measurement for width and height. You choose your valance option down here. I went with the square white valance, so it matched the molding around my window. You can choose if you want the bottom rod fabric wrapped, square, or rounded, which other brands don't give you as many options, so that's pretty good. You choose whether you want it to roll from the back or from the front. Mine were rolling from the back on all my windows. The one channel remote is only $7, comes prepared, or you can get that 15 channel for $20. Again, this is going to be cheaper than you see in other brands. And if you want to get that solar panel, you can throw that on there, or just charge it with a power bank and USB-C cable. And you'll also see the magnetic cable option right here is a $5 add-on. But for my size windows, it's about $330. Whereas if you choose the same size window and the same options, you're looking at almost $100 more from SmartWings. So going with the Bringnox, it's going to save you about $100, even more if you go with larger size windows. And Bringnox kind of has everything a little cheaper. Their 15 channel remote is $20, whereas the SmartWings 15 channel one is $26. And Bringnox has a ton of options that are still matter over thread motorized shades. These are the Roman cross loom shades, which look really cool. You can also get woven wood shades that are still motorized and still matter over thread. These come in a ton of different color options as well. And remember, they also have those no drill shades if you don't want to be drilling holes in your window frame. And you can save even more with a discounted link down in the video description. Again, I've tried lots of different smart shades. I think Bringnox is great. They're less expensive than other brands. You still get all the features. The reliability of matter over thread works with any smart home ecosystem, especially Apple Home. And whether you're wanting total blackout shades, 70% blackout, or just varying styles, Bringnox is a great way to go. So again, that link is down in the video description. And if you wanted to see everything in my smart home, I did an entire smart home tour for 2026. You can watch that video right up here. I'll also put a link to the HomePass app that I mentioned down in the video description. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Lots of smart home content, home automation. And I just reviewed the Aqara U400 lock, which is the first with ultra wideband unlock, where you just approach the lock and it unlocks without you having to tap it. So if your hands are full of groceries, you can just walk up and your door's unlocked. You can check out my full review on that smart lock right up here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.